You don't say nothing. Here we go. Boom, bingo, bada boom, bada bing. We're live. What's going on, everybody? This is the Locked In Podcast, episode 42. We got the boss hog G Money in the house. How's everybody doing today? Today we got two special guests in the building with us. We got my good friend, my girl Thal. What's up, Thal?
What's up, everybody?
And we have my boy Jimmy G in the building.
Bada bing, bada boom. Realest guy in the room. How you doing?
That's it. Doing good, man. Doing good. Hopefully everybody's doing well today. Come on in. This is the show that never ends. Come in, children. It's it's a little over 7:30 on a beautiful, I should say, a rainy Thursday, and here we are. Here we are. Good to be here, guys. Good to be here. Good to see you too.
We're locked in.
We're definitely like you know it. It's been a while, man. It's very overdue. And those that might not know, that was actually a good friend of ours, of mine, and actually helps me a lot on the podcast as well. And this is really overdue as far as her episode. But today we did a little different for the viewers that are watching. We set it up a certain way, but it was supposed to be just Val, and Steve couldn't do it because he actually wasn't feeling it well. And we brought my man Jimmy G last minute. But Jimmy will be back. He'll be coming on as well, and do another episode as well on arm wrestling. So we're gonna do a couple more stuff with Jimmy as well as Thal. So it's not the first nor the last time they're gonna see you, bro. Yeah. So how you doing, Thal? How was your day today?
We came in hot, bull. How was your day, honey?
My day was pretty good. You're supposed to stare at me on the screen, baby. How over here?
Hey, we're going with the flow here, eh?
Yeah, the usual. I know. Crazy stuff going on Thursday, fuckery. My day was great. I just recently got bit by a cat. Got a scratch here, so it's all good. I didn't be bit like that in a while, but she'll learn. I just give her some food, so yeah. So guys, here we are. Should we just jump in it? Today's topic is gonna be a good one. It's overdue. We never actually done it before, and it's all about relationship issues, tips, and trust, and also trusting friends and acquaintances. So the topic is relationship. The subtopic is gonna be just
We'll always be friends.
right. It's gonna be basically just trusting friends and all that. So I guess we can get started with this. We kind of just jump the ship and kind of go on board and start everything going. So get everything going. Obviously, all of us here have been in relationships at some point or the other. You know what I mean? For those that don't know, Jimmy G, my boy Jimmy G, the Italian Stallion, and my girl Thal here, they are a couple. So it'll be great to have a perspective from an actual couple that that has been through a lot as well, and understands how things go, and two people that definitely have experience with relationships as well as myself. So so guys, let me think. Well, let's start with the first question, I guess. So how long have you guys been together, if you don't mind me asking? I know the answer, but to the viewers that might not know.
About 3.5 months.
3.5 months. Okay, cool. It's been 3 good months for sure.
We've been friends for a couple of years. We were friends for a while, and I got out of a fucked up relationship, and things just took off from there. I've been in love with her since the first time I looked at her, though, but I didn't tell her that.
Wow. So, a case of love at first sight. That's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, it's real. It happens from time to time.
No doubt. So, Thal, you've been with G for about 3 months, but you obviously got to know each other for a while as well. And I mean, for those that don't know, I know you've known G for a couple of months now. It's been all over. Like, I probably met Jimmy in March, but I know you for a while. What I wanted to say was, I know you guys, are definitely fond of each other and all that, but how was the beginning? Was it like you were single for a while, and you also came from a hard relationship, or you just single and then you and Jimmy got together and
What I used to say was, I'm on a dick-free diet. I'm happy, single. So for me to date, it was like a challenge. It's like, do I really want to get this happy lifestyle that I have? Because I was happy single. Then you start dating somebody, you have those challenges.
Yeah.
Certain things they're not used to anymore. Things you have to share, things you have to talk, communication is key. How I started the relationship was, listen, we'll always be friends. And for a man, for anybody, that type of word really put doubt in the relationship because they don't understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, I think. Are you still talking on? Go ahead.
What I mean by that is, if you're in a relationship and you're not friends throughout the whole time, towards the very ending, wherever it may go, and you're not friends, keep that in mind, that communication and being friends. Because being with somebody, you need to. That's supposed to be your best friend. That's supposed to be the first person you go to for everything. A lot of times people break up because they forgot that. They go to their friends, they go to their family, they go to everybody else. But there's number one friend, it's your partner. So that's how shit goes apart.
Right. A lot of times that's the thing, and we'll get into that as well. The relationship's not solid. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, people don't really understand each other until they really get to each other.
On the man's side.
So basically, when I heard "We'll always be friends" for the first time, I looked at her like, "Are you like, is this it?" But like she said, it's in how you interpret what's being said, and it takes some time. We're still in the process of learning what the meaning is of the things that we say, because we're both pretty outspoken and we're very opinionated. So there was an initial clash, butting of heads. There's probably going to always be clash, but
most relationships have that.
Piggybacking off what she was saying, how communications can make or break a relationship. My biggest problem in my relationships has been just that, communication. It's hard for couples to talk about uncomfortable things and make progress out of them, because a lot of times you feel like you're being attacked, or you feel like a victim, or you're playing a victim, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of opportunity for miscommunication, and I think a key element to be a couple that lasts is to be able to get over your ego and actually listen to what the person's saying, so that you can actually make some progress.
What about you, Joyce? Are you seeing anybody? You got the lady where you sing or something, right?
Yeah. I'm on the market. I'm actually single right now, but it's always a possibility with me. Like I said, I just gotta find somebody that's more right for me, and I'm more about looks obviously matter, but it's also personality, and like Jim said, about understanding and having that building something to trust. So it takes some time, but I'm big on loyalty and respect and all that. But loyalty is definitely number one. You know that. Hold on 1 second, Sal. When you talk, you hear an echo? Because they're saying there's an echo. Somebody just pointed out.
It sounds like someone's eating potato chips, brother.
It does. Is that better?
It's her moving the shit.
There's this background noise. It's going to kind of kill the noise. You're fine, Jimmy.
Yeah, I got the headies in. I got the noise canceling joints.
Ah, that's why. Yeah, you definitely see you're doing it right.
I'm gold.
You're gold, bro. You're equipped. You just fix that real quick.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Just sounds a little.
It might be the actual phone. Who knows?
I mean, I can hear you fine, but say something.
Hola, amigo.
Yeah, she sounds fine, but
Yeah, you see, no, I can hear you. It just sounds like there's an echo. It sounds like the voice echoes and repeats, like hello. But other than that,
hey, George, while we're figuring out the audio here, I got a little something. An interesting thing about me and her relationship is how alike we are. We use the word mirrors a lot, and the interesting thing about that word is when you're dating someone who's a mirror image of yourself, you actually are facing yourself, and you can kind of see things. They can point out things about you that you didn't know, vice versa. And it's a very interesting kind of relationship. They have a name for it.
Right.
What's the name for it?
They call them twin flames. It's a very explosive type of relationship. I don't wish it upon anybody, because if anyone watching this Googles twin flames, please don't fall for the trap that it's something peaches and cream all the time. It's heaven and hell in its most extreme states. and it can be traumatic. It can be the most beautiful thing in the world. It's everything wrapped up into one. It's very unique.
I agree, bro. I agree. And yeah, to the point you're saying, no, you good, Sal, you good. To the point you're saying, a lot of times it seems like the girl and the guy, bro, it just kind of like they a lot of times will agree disagree, but you gotta always kind of find common ground. And you might let your lady get away with a lot too, but it all depends on like on
They
like
call it compromise, Georgie.
yeah, compromise basically. It all depends on like what you guys, what even really the argument's about. Like you said, you got to build. So there's gonna be some trouble in there, but things always usually end up better. But if you know you're in a bad relationship, that's when you figure out, okay, maybe I should just pack my shit and go. Like you said, bro, I had a fucked up relationship too, bro. I've been in some not so great relationships, not too many, thank God. So I'm not, I'm not damaged, like I always say, and we'll get to that too. But I had
Yeah.
situations too, where like I had a thing for that girl. She loved me. I loved her too, but maybe it just wasn't, all the way we should have been, and maybe, it's always one person wants something a little more, a little different. It seems like number one. Number two, that like you try somebody, that, but when it gets too bad, it just like it doesn't really work out like that. You just gotta know when to go and when to stop too. And people sometimes are afraid of that or don't know when to kind of like go or even start, So that's also something I wanted to touch base
Yeah,
on.
we've both have experience with staying in relationships longer than we should. Especially when children are involved, it makes it tricky. You know what I'm
It makes
saying?
a world of difference.
What a twin flame versus a soulmate.
Elaborate, my dear.
Well, soulmates are, we call them, if you came from the same flower, you are the petals in that flower. People come from the same source. Those are your soulmates. You can have 10 soulmates in a lifetime, but they're hard to find. With a twin flame, it's different because you're actually looking at a reflection in the mirror. So weird things has to match. Your numerology number has to match. Life path has to match. Your end nodes have to match. And more importantly, there are certain body marks and beauty marks on the body that matches down to the very core of your health. We have cysts and things in our body that shouldn't be there, but ironically, they match. So one has a vagina, one has a penis, but then you look deeper, we all have the same symptoms and shit. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's true. Definitely. So now, so those guys, so people might understand what I was trying to say is that, like sometimes you got to match numerology and astrology. I mean, not that it's always the case, but sometimes definitely you can see who you kind of like match with a little better. And even though you might feel like, well, I'm a Cancer, this person's a Taurus, we're not compatible. Sometimes you got to find the person and see, the good in them and see, where they kind of like sort of like, fit in your life and kind of take it from there. You can feel a couple of days. Now, if you're not compatible, it's probably not going to work that well, but people take those chances anyway.
We can't fully rely on astrology, but there are hidden keys in astrology that helps us break down the fundamentals of what does match and what doesn't match. For example, we mentioned Cancer. That's water. Break down the 4 elements. Water will always match with earth. Fire will always match with air. So if you're water and you're dating somebody that's fire, obviously that's not gonna work. There's gonna be a lot of mixed shit, like where you guys will cancel each other out. There's no understanding. There's no compromise. That's what usually happens. You just break down in implements of elements. So
Yeah, that's a good point too. That's the thing, guys. So since we're on the topic, the topic right now is relationships, but it's mostly about compatibility. We'll get to the issues in a little as well. I think like it's very important to kind of like know the person, kind of get to know them a little bit. And I got a thing, like for example, like when I like date a girl, if I'm dating her, the first date is nothing super crazy. It's about kind of vibing a little, seeing like where we kind of go from here. I feel like the 2 dates kind of set up where things could potentially go. I have made the mistakes too, where I moved too fast in dating, or I went a date or two a girl I thought it was right, and then he ended up not being the right situation. So we all been there. It's safe to say that everybody has kind of figure that out. And I always tell guys that like you guys that the date. If I'm giving any advice, I'd be like, when you date for a purpose, but you're not going to date somebody, see what she's about and where she's at with her.
see, when it comes to advice, you have to be careful. Be careful with that error because what if you're seeking advice from somebody who doesn't know what it's like to keep a relationship? What if you're seeking advice? Here's it goes back to step 1, how we started, where we'll always be friends.
Right.
Why do you seek advice from others when the person you should be talking to is the person you're with to solve it? they're not in that relationship with you. Biblically, the Bible says it's man and woman together. Sometimes people mess that up when they add the third party into it. So, if I was to read advice, time to be friends and phone call, I would seek from someone who has a successful relationship. Someone much older, who's been through the road, who's been through the ups and downs of things, to have a successful relationship. I wouldn't seek from somebody single. I would not seek from somebody who has a rough relationship. Okay?
Also, she makes a great point. People seeking out advice. I think a lot of people either don't know or don't try, but a lot of that stuff you can, as far as if you feel like you should stay with this person or not, you can find out just by looking inside your own chest. Now, you got to be able to be real connected with yourself, listen to your gut. And like she said, it's better to talk with your significant other than to rely on output from other people, because you don't know what kind of relationships they've been through or whatnot. Could be steering you the wrong way, and might let that great one get away. That's a no bueno.
So, in your opinion, what is your fundamentals of a successful relationship? Because I can give it to you. I mean, you've been through marriage for how many years, and divorce. So, you would actually be somebody good to go to when it comes to seeking
Believe me.
relationship advice. What are the fundamentals of keeping it that long?
What's the question again? You're echoing.
What are the fundamentals of keeping a long-term relationship and sticking it out for that long?
Well, I was married for 19 years, and the first 3 were pretty okay, but it slowly started to deteriorate. And we both grew up with divorced parents. And anyone who's married or in a relationship where they have children, divorce is becoming more and more commonplace. And I had 4 daughters by the age of 23. So leaving was not in the cards, because I would have been homeless, for one. For 2, the world's jacked up right now. So having 4 daughters, being a father, it's even more so important to be in their lives at an early age. Boys are a little bit easier to deal with, but girls, it's different. And when you have daughters, it changes your perception on how you look at women overall. I had a conversation with a guy in a bar once, and where the hell is Georgie anyway? I had a conversation with a guy in a bar once, and he looks at me, and I was talking to him about my marital problems. And he says, you know that your daughters are going to end up with a man just like you someday. So you might want to think about how you carry yourself. And that really kicked me in the balls, because he was right. And from that moment on, I just started, I had a different perspective on women altogether. And also, I could speak for a lot of fathers and this, I don't know how this is going to sound, but we don't like nobody else playing daddy with our kids. So that was another reason I stayed. But if I'm trying to answer the question as to how can you make a marriage last like that when there's problems, I think we go back to the communication. You got to be able to, instead of keeping things inside and letting them fester and burning yourself from the inside out, you got to be able to talk with your significant other about that uncomfortable feelings, because you need an outlet to release that, and it saves you a lot of heartache down the road. I ended up messing around, and that was no good. That's not something I'm proud of. And I could go back and change it, but I can't. But yeah, communication, doing things together. When people are together for a long time, they get bored and they stop doing things together. See,
that's the problem.
I had a lot of experience when you're dating somebody for a while and then things go to shit. And then they're like, well, why can't we make things the way they used to be? The answer is they're never going to be that way again, because you're different people. You got to be able to fall in love with this person over and over and over again, because they're constantly changing. See, that wooing period of getting to know somebody should never end. They talk about that honeymoon phase. Holy shit,
That's
yo.
because
They talk about a honeymoon phase where, and a lot of people get caught up on that phase and like judging the relationship on that period, and you shouldn't do that. So the effort should always be there to get to know the person, because like I said, they're always changing. So now, and catching the signs.
change is constant. First of all, people are always
Huh?
changing. Change is constant.
Change is good. Give me a second.
Change it.
Sometimes people grow apart.
Pretty
That's normal. But when you have to accept who you are as who you are. Now, let me backtrace what you said earlier. Boys are a little easier. How do you know that you don't have a boy? Because I got 2 boys. I would like to differ, and I would like to disagree totally with you, because of the fact that, you know, when you raise a boy, it also, me as a woman, I have to be careful with who I date, who I'm with, for the fact that it's how they're going to treat a woman. It's who that I'm dating that they're gonna look at and be like, is this how a man should behave? This woman should be treated. Same perception as how you mentioned daughters. You should act as father because that's what they need to do. There's no difference to it. We have different sexes involved, but there's no difference to it. Now, Jimmy, what was your most boring relationship? What made things boring? And how do you spice that up?
Whoa, Jack. Well, most boring relationship, probably the one I just got out of. I need a woman who's driven. See, some girls just want to be taken care of, and that's okay. But me in particular, I'm looking for somebody that I can build something with, and I have found that someone. But when we go to talking about communication, you got to talk about things with substance. Substance is a big word. And when you're talking with someone with no substance, it makes things very boring. It's hard to get your points across. This person I was with didn't ever wanted to go nowhere. So, I mean, I end up doing a lot of things on my own, and that leads to you growing apart. You got to be doing stuff together, learning stuff together. Like me and Tao, she's a painter, and I draw like I'm in first grade. And I have ADHD, which means my brain's 100 miles an hour all the time. And then one day she's painting, and I'm across from her, and she hands me a paintbrush. And I go, "What the hell you want me to do with this?" And she said, "Just paint." And I said, "But I paint like a child." And she said, "Who cares?" So I started painting, and I just noticed myself calming down, and I didn't expect that feeling. And the painting, actually, we've done a couple, and they turned out amazing. So something like that, as simple as it sounds, just sitting at a table painting, it was so, to be honest with you, it was romantic, because we were connecting without words.
You can do with each other. You can learn from each other. You guys can bounce off one another. You know, that's things you gotta do together. I think that people do the same thing consistently, and that pretty much makes shit boring. You know, and I'm the type of person to get bored of everything pretty easily. So
that scares the shit out of me.
Next minute, I'm sewing. Next minute, you know, I'm doing treadmills, or who knows what I'm doing next. I'll be fishing with the next. Like, it's just like constant adventure, because that's my personality. And that's why in every relationship, you have to know that person. You have to know everything that's about them. What is it about them that made you fall in love? What is it about them that, you know, to stimulate each other? Stimulation is very important, whether it's sexual or not sexual. It's the daily things that you can do with each other. Because without it, it's kind of like a plant. You gotta treat a relationship like it's a plant. If you forget to water it, it will die. And also, a lot of times we look at other relationships.
Give me some problems here with the fucking echo.
The grass greener on the other side. No, if you water your own garden, it will grow just as great, if not greater. So just like any relationship. I'm not talking about lovers, even friendships. Do you want
Love
to
hurts.
share? Do you appreciate that? You gotta put an effort to it. You gotta put an effort in everything that you appreciate, especially when it comes to people. We all are receptive of each other. We have feelings, emotions. We all talk back. We're not a wall. So, it's like, what is your garden? God damn it! My shit is dry. Go wet it.
So, what about this now? Let's talk about speaking of what are some tips for like a nice, healthy relationship? Let's talk about that a little bit and some secrets to a happy one. And Jim kind of mentioned a little bit, but I want to elaborate on that a little more.
I say effort.
New adventures.
The adventure. I like
about each
We,
other.
oh God, listen here. I'll give you a quick little adventure. Me and Tal where were we when we were running in the rain? Remember that?
Yeah, we ran in a freaking rain trying to eat.
Where were we?
Where
were we? We were in Manayunk, just walking around checking out shops, and it started raining. And instead of us complaining or bitching, we just held each other's hand like two kids, and we were running in the rain. It was the funnest time ever.
We're gonna get wet regardless. And one of the important things you look at it in a negative aspect. You could get struck by thunder. You can let like fear-based thoughts consume and overwhelm you. The key is to stay positive in every situation that you're facing, because challenges is obvious. It's part of life. It's part of everything that you're going to invest in. So how do you stay positive and optimistic in every situation? That's very important.
When you have two people from different cultures, like me and her, effort is big, because there's things that I would do that I would think is normal that aren't normal to her, that may agitate her, and vice versa.
Exactly.
And in Philadelphia, there's a lot of different nationalities and a lot of different people dating people in different races and different cultures. I think a very good tip is to try to learn the other person's
culture. Or
yes.
Customs, you can say. Even if
So
you're not.
have you dated other races besides well, I'm Vietnamese, so I try to date other races besides your own kind and Asians. Other Asians, have you dated other Asians besides myself?
Right. Now, you think that's actually harder? That's actually a good topic.
What other races have you dated?
To kind of like date people from other culture, other races, other situations.
Georgie, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Where's your face, bro? Oh,
right there.
Boom.
Freezing, bro.
George, have you ever dated Asian or people out of your race?
Have I what?
Have you dated other Asians who enjoy like different ethnicity, like different nationalities?
Yeah. I've dated on my race. Mm-hmm.
What's your experiences with that?
Anyone that is intriguing to you?
Intriguing. I mean, for me, it was like Jim said, understanding a little bit about the culture and respecting it, and being able to kind of like identify like how you are, how you feel with them, and if you're good with the culture, and then dating a girl, then it becomes more about you and the person. Because at this point, her culture, she might know yours. So at this point, it's like you kind of pass that little, that stage. But in other words, so my experiences have been good personally. To answer your question, Paul, I did date one Asian girl. I actually dated. I also dated Hispanic, Black, Albanian. Well, I mean, just about everything really. But yeah, it's just different cultures require different levels of understanding a little about how things are, and then I think it makes your job easier as the boyfriend or girlfriend.
What I realized about like other like have you met like other people's parents and things? I've noticed one thing is that if you try to learn the language and you try to learn the cultures, it makes that connection with the parents so much easier. And I think often a lot of times we do meet that's like a nerve-wrack thing, like, oh my god, I gotta meet this family type of shit. Like but sometimes when you date an ethnicity that doesn't speak English and you do put out the effort to even try their food, it means a lot.
Right.
Because a lot of these cultures, and what Americans don't understand is that many cultures express their language of respect through food. So yeah, sometimes you're gonna be allergic to the shit, sometimes it's gonna creep you out when they're giving you chicken feet in your face and octopus hairs and guts and all. But it's how they express love. So when you meet the family the first time, no matter what, you still gotta taste it and it's been on the side like, nobody saw that. but that's very important.
That's
So
important. Right.
that's very
So
important. Speaking of ethnicity and culture, what is the strangest thing you have ever tried in, another female's house? The strangest food you've ever tried. Have you sacrificed your mouth for a relationship?
it depends, like I said, if you're dating a girl from the same culture and like her mom cooks for you a lot, they like you. The hard thing is the language, especially when the parents don't speak the language and you feel like, oh, I'm Manchurian here, but you're dating the girl,
We'll go
like the
polyglot.
daughter.
We'll go there.
So it all kind of depends. I mean, usually like I've dated different cultures, like Caribbean and all that, and the parents of the girl, right? They usually like they're having food and they're really free spirited. So it's like kind of cool. I mean, I just kind of get along and I got that edge where I understand the cultures. But when you're again dating like you guys are, like different sort of like I guess biracial or just whatever different relationships, yeah, there's
I think
definitely a
everybody's
challenge. But
biracial.
it comes down to the it comes down to the people really. If you really want to make it work, you can. I feel like I don't think in 2021 it's as hard as it used to be. It used to be a lot different. Things have changed a lot. In the last 10 years, it changed. Imagine in the last like 30, 40 years.
Have you
But like
dated
you
Yeah.
said,
another
Jim,
Albanian girl
still a lot of
before?
steps.
Oh my.
Huh?
Have you dated another Albanian girl before?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how you can tell if you really
Have you dated
love
other
somebody?
Italians before?
What'd you say? Sorry, Jim. What'd you say, Tal?
Jim, have you dated other Italians before?
Oh.
Yeah, but not shit from Italy like I want to, like Italian American, like from here. But yeah, I did a couple Italian girls.
Okay.
Italian is easy for me because I'm a little Italian and I speak the language, so they get along with me. It's the Albanian parents that get sometimes picky, and then if you date an Albanian girl, her parents are picky towards you because you're Albanian too. So you got to really be a certain way. It's hard. It's a challenge.
What about Asians? You ever dated an Asian before?
You already asked him that.
Oh, I forget.
Yeah, I did.
So, Jim, what is the most awkward position you ever been placed to in a relationship? Most awkward position.
Got the
Consider
questions.
this. Like
Okay.
example, let me give you an example. Meeting ex-boyfriend. Has that ever happened to both of you guys?
Meaning,
that?
yeah, I had that happen. That's easy money.
What was
That's
the
easy
question?
money.
I need a question. Say it again, Tal.
See, this subject's important because meeting ex-boyfriends by accident when you're out in public, suddenly you bump into them. Why? How do you carry yourself? And that's her ex, or vice versa, that's his ex. How do you carry
That's a
yourself?
good
I think the most awkward position I ever found myself in was being asked if I could watch another man eat my girl's pussy. I think
Oh my God! Whoa!
that's probably the most awkward position I've ever been in
That must be traumatic.
in a relationship.
Are you confident in it?
No, I'm not watching nobody eat my
Or
girl's
is that something
pussy.
uncomfortable?
That's basically not gonna happen. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
if it came to that, I would just say you should probably be single and good luck to you. You know what I'm saying?
Say
Yeah.
adios, right?
That's what I would do.
That's what you would do.
What about you? What's the most awkward position you've ever been in a relationship, Sneezer?
Awkward position for me. I can't really say I have an awkward position because I'm like the explorer. As a Sagittarius, I'm always looking for new adventures, new reaction, new things. What's awkward to most people, for me, it's like, oh shit, I like this. This is something new. Because in life, you got God knows how many years you are to live. You don't know if you die tomorrow. If you don't put yourself in the unknown territory, awkward position, unusual position, then you haven't fully lived at all. Have you? So can't say I have awkward position. I mean, you could drop me in the middle of the woods butt ass naked and I'll find ways to just loving that moment. Like, damn, I'm one with nature. Look at me running around like Eden Lilith. Bouncing butt ass naked. But that's just who I am. I don't know. I guess some people find that uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't find it uncomfortable. George, look
Let's
at
see.
my
For
body.
me, the weirdest thing for me is I don't think I might have like seen one of my exes before, and I was with my current girl, but it never really got weird like that. Though, as far as other dudes, well,
Yeah. So, let me see. Have you guys ever? Well, what was it? Out of spite, have you done anything spiteful? Like sometimes we get in a situation where we would date their best friends, or we would date a brother, a sister, a cousin, keep it in the family. I mean, have that ever happened to you? Because that has not happened to me.
Not for me, hasn't. I never did that. But I know what you're saying. I heard that before. The whole situation.
Yeah, I have abided by the homie code for my entire life. I never hooked up with my homies' girls, or it's just a weird, awkward thing. And I just never did.
I cannot date my friends' ex like that. Nah.
Yeah,
a good friend or my cousin even, or my cousin.
There's plenty of fishies out there, my friend, that I don't need to dip into my friend's shit.
Yeah,
I don't need to do
there's plenty of wieners
all that
there.
extra shit.
You don't have to. What is it? Forsaking a friendship over the moments for a time type of thing. But that's good to know. Everybody here got a lot of morals to not cross that boundaries. But unfortunately, if you look at today's society and these rap music and these lyrics is talking about banging your brother's girl, blah, 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 a lot of these lyrics are not a good example for kids. If you really look at it. Backstabbing is constant. What is loyalty anymore? It's like a superpower these days to me. Then what do you think about that? Subject friendship.
Depends what kind of friendship we're talking about. I mean, a lot of people say they're friends, but again, they want to take your girl from behind you, or they hate on you. Like, what did they hurt? But they want her, the person. So that happens often. It's important to know where your friendship lie and who's really there for you. And again, I mean, sometimes it's a female. She might just come trying to come back at the other guy, and he had to be cousin, so she's to hook up with you. No thanks, not me. Like Jim said, it's plenty of efficiency. There's too many women out here, too much money, too much to do to be stuck with one girl and get confused or go sleep for like your friend's baby mama or whatever. So nah, it's definitely not my thing.
That situation, I have come in contact many, many times where like the person I'm with, and this happened almost with every relationship. Not saying you, Jim. I'm saying the other ones. Is that I would get shredded apart if one of my homies was to hit on me, or men would hit on me and shit. And being a loyal person, for me, it's not a problem because I'm not ugly. But when you're out there and you're constantly getting hit, at the end of the day, it depends on the girl. It depends on the person you're with, their reaction to things. Do you respond to these messages? Do you entertain them? Do you do more, or do you just finish and say, hey, bye, goodbye? So it's like, do you entertain the situation? Sometimes when you are with somebody that is eye-catching, do you have confidence in that person? It goes back to your relationship. Do you have enough trust to know that you're going to be okay? Because the things I always say is that, listen, you got to enjoy and find what my response is in rejection when that happens to you. Because not everybody deserves your attention. Not everybody deserves to be entertained. How do you feel about that, Jimmy?
What's the question, honey?
What's the question? How do you feel when other men sit on me?
I'm over it now because there's hundreds and hundreds of dick pics in the fucking DMs. Every time she does a photo shoot, everybody wants to fucking lick her asshole.
Wow.
She's a fart master. Everybody wants her to shit on her face. I mean, in the beginning, I felt a little bit funny just because I'm not used to these kind of things, but I have enough self-confidence, and plus me and her are close enough to where none of that stuff bothers me. I have enough self-confidence to where if she were to indulge with any of these men, that's her loss, and I would be just fine. So I have to rely on our connection instead of wondering like
what's going on,
she's talking with, because she's on her phone with men 24 hours a day. I'm talking, she gets text messages at 4:30 in the morning about whatever the fuck. I don't even look at it no more. I just think it's hilarious. So the long and the short of it is, it's funny.
It is, but unlike other women, I am involved with a lot of sports as much as you are. So in the sports community, most of the time it's all dudes, it's all men. And sometimes I'm like, we got a meeting, we got a photo shoot, we got things to do. I am the only female that's involved with all these sports. So there's not going to be chicks hitting me up now unless they're female models that I'm working with. But at the same time, with those models, I still have to align those girls with one of the guys. Because who am I promoting? I'm still promoting a man behind the scenes.
That's true.
So that's something that we have to accept as a relationship, that I will always be managing somebody with a dick.
I mean, see, if I get add on to that one, sometimes it'd be that way. Sometimes, if your girl or the girlfriend or the female has to do like a lot of business with guys, It's all about having trust and comfortability. If you feel comfortable with her doing that and you know what's going on, you're good. Because I mean, at the end of the day, she's gonna be with you anyway. Plenty of guys gonna want her, but plenty of guys want probably everybody. You know, everybody's
That's
wife
what I'm
is gonna
saying.
be looked at by somebody else.
All these guys hit her up, but I get to wake up to her beautiful face every morning. So
That's it. That's
who,
what it
who
matters.
so
You
who
know what
wins?
I'm saying?
So who
You
wins?
get
Who wins?
first dibs on my first morning farts and all. Yes.
Yeah.
My farts.
All the crazy
Farts.
food that she
And I
eats
made
and the
like
interesting smells that come out of her butt, I get to smell all that. Tremendous. Tremendous.
Oh God!
Listen, it even got to the point, my friend, where she was owed fart money, if that makes any sense. And we're calling guys on the video trying to get the monies. Hey, buddy, you like the farts? You like the farts, do you? You want more farts? Pay the lady. What's going on here?
Just
Am I in the Twilight Zone or what? I think I
explain
am.
what's going on a little bit. So you saying you do farts, right? You got like a little setup where you can fart for money, right? OnlyFans, yeah, OnlyFans.
Yes, there are fetish communities out there, and
There's sick fucks who love farts, but
you don't have
The
to
term.
show your butt, your ass, your titties.
They'll lick your ass, right. Suck a fart or ass. That's
Sometimes
crazy.
guys might like ear holes. You know, you take pictures of your ear hole, then you're like, oh my gosh, that's so entertaining. My dick is hard because I like ear holes. Like, you know, there are weird fetishes out there.
There's some weird fucks out there, yo. Let's keep it real. Could we all say there's some very weird fetishes? I know dudes want to see stuff out there like show me your toes or your ass and all, but farts, jeez, that's.
I have acquired a weird fetish from this relationship. If you'd like to hear it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get fucked in the ear.
Fucked in the ear.
I get fucked in the ear.
This is getting interesting. More interesting.
It's called an eargasm, and she's got very special hair where she can twist it into a big, long needle dick.
Oh, the feather thing.
And she fucks my ears, and let me just tell you something.
Cleans your ears with a little thing.
Yeah, it's a little hairpiece. It's a lot of Chinese or especially Vietnamese people do it. They take things of their hair and then they just clean their ears with their hair, and it just hits every nerves in your body. It hits your ass nerves, everything, and have your toes curling. But you know what? If you go to Vietnam, there are ear bars in our country that it's like a massage. So they trigger all those nerves. They have you relax, have you feeling good, and they clean your ears. So that's how I learned the trick from. A lot of Asian supermarket, you go in there, they have these little feathers for the ears, all sorts of tools and gadgets, all just for the ears. That goes back to learning about ethnicity and cultures. That's what Vietnamese offers.
That's crazy stuff, man. That's some funny shit, though. You'd be surprised you pick up from your girl or, you know, your new partner or something like other. Maybe they got like, you know, like a routine they do. You might learn from them, a special fetish, something going on, you know, pick up a skill. So like I said, that's why it's good to date and try, you know, different things out and, you know, find the person kind of fits you, you know, fits for you. But like I said, some people, I don't know, who knows? Maybe, you know, one day I'll meet a girl who likes to fly planes, you know, and I'll fly plane with her, you know, or helicopter rides. I haven't done a plane in a while, but what I'm trying to say is that like you always meet people that like got interesting things to bring to the table, and that's also a part of relationships to keep them kind of going. Because once you want to be somebody that can bring something to you, you can kind of understand and learn from, or like Jimmy said, the person you've been with for a while and he's not going nowhere, and it's like y'all got bored of each other. That's the key, not to get bored. Easy said than done, but obviously there's, you know, perks and there's ways to do that too. You know, you got to reinvent yourself, like they always say. Trust your partner, but reinvent yourself. And keep the spark.
What about toxic relationships? Oh. I feel like a lot of women today are in these toxic, nasty, abusive relationships, and they don't know how to get out of it. And I'm gonna backtrace that to, you know, having your own self-esteem. A lot of these women mistaken, and they're so afraid of being alone. They mistaken companionship, or they mistaken company for love. Like they'd rather be hurt than to find that void to like love themselves. Because you gotta love yourself fully first and foremost. In a relationship, it's when you spread that love. It's like, is he worthy of me sharing me with him? You know. So females today don't know how to love themselves, but they think that being with somebody is going to fulfill that love. That's not necessarily the case. So, you know, I know a lot of girlfriends that's in the same repetitive toxic cycle, and it gets abusive. That's when you gotta let go. Gotta let go. Do you
People
love
underestimate.
let go?
I'm good.
Is it worth it?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No. So, and speaking of abusive relations, men do get abused too. Have you guys been in any of those situations?
Nah. I have.
You're right. It could go either way. Abusive
I've had.
relationships are the worst ones, and it's it's different. I mean, because if it's a female abusing a guy, sometimes a guy wants to stay there and kind of like take it 'cause he's the man. But if you don't feel comfortable, you should walk away, and just let that kind of go. Heartbreak's gonna happen regardless. Because usually hear about guys doing it to girls, but it could go either way. I mean,
It's a
it's hard.
misconception where they think men can't be abused, but based on my observation, like I see men being abused verbally when you talk down on them and name calling or just make them feel like nothing. Things can go both ways verbally. But another
Real.
thing is if you refrain, like example, withheld sex, that's another form of a control. So that's painful. Not unless you can shake it.
Protest that way. With girls stop having sex with their boyfriends to, you know what I mean? Because they want to prove a point or they want them to change some ways, There's a movie about that too. I think it's a movie with Trina called Miami Tale. It's like the girls basically not having sex with their boyfriends who are all gangsters and thugs because they want the violence to stop. It's an old movie with Trina. It's kind of funny, but yeah. It's an old movie.
Too much fun. I know it's off subject, but just came up on top of my head. I told my boys, I was like, be careful with a beautiful woman. Why? Because the more pretty she is, the better she is at telling you lies.
Well, yeah, I mean, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So if you say that both parties lie, I mean, and we all got a lot of work to do, I mean, to keep relationships a certain way, you know what I mean? And trust issues. Because if you have trust issues, again, the relationship's not going to work out, though. You guys seem like you have resolved a lot of stuff, and the trust seems to be there, which is a good thing, and that's not also my ex, too. I trust, but then it just, everything kind of like went the other way. Too much happened, and then, I think it was better. I was like, I think it's better to go out different ways, and it just kind of happened that way,
My thing is,
But you never know.
If something's worth fighting for, it's going to be harder to get through the challenges, but if it's worth it, you got to fight through it. Nothing you connect to is without challenges. It's all part of life. When you choose to have a partner, that's a partnership that's going to go through the ups and downs with you. So don't be in a relationship just to satisfy your loneliness. Because first of all, like I said, you always got to learn to love yourself first. People got to take that time to be single. You got to know yourself first before you engage and learn about somebody else. It's like get to know each other and then we walk. If not, then we ain't going nowhere. We just gonna get stuck in one spot, throw mud at each other.
Yeah.
But George, what do you look for in a woman? We're gonna get you a girlfriend.
Say it again.
What do you look for in a woman? We're gonna get you a girlfriend.
A lot of people try to hook me up, I'm biding my time. But I look for a woman. I look for a lot of things. I mean, so personality, looks, where the mind is at. You know what I mean? If she, got like a plan for the future and all that. Especially if a woman that I really want to be with, not just the hookup. Because let's keep it real. We live in hookup culture. People are going to other people's DMs and all that. What are you on DM a girl for if you got no intentions at all? Just stop already. That's just how I look at it. So any guy I want to talk to, you gotta it doesn't have to be serious right away, but we gotta build towards something. Because I'm a certain age now where 5-6 years ago was different, but now it's like
So you need that connection.
I need the connection, right? And like you said, things gotta align a little bit. Now I have dated girls that by going by astrology, whatever the case may be, and all the good stuff, it wasn't a good match. Some worked out better than others, but like I said, it's just why astrology for me goes 50-50. Some stuff it doesn't always go that way, but a lot of stuff is very accurate, especially within relationships. And that's why we gotta
astrology reading.
Huh?
I do astro reading. Let's leave it out there. You guys
yeah. You owe me a reading too, by the way.
Astro reading.
I gotta get one. Guys, Star is the person for readings, so gotta definitely check her out.
I'll drop my page below, and if you guys need an actual reading on that relationship, whether it's psychology or astrology, I will do it for free of charge.
Drop the link, drop it below, whatever. The place to get DM you. I mean, you're on the page too, so I'm sure you can post on here and you can promote your stuff. We always let our people promote the stuff. So
we have now reached 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So anything like any last questions you gotta ask before we end this?
We're almost there. I'm at the very end. How do you guys feel about trust with like friends though? Not even like a girlfriend, but it's a female friend or just your boys and all that. Don't you guys think that like in friendships it's important to trust, but also understand like the intention of your friends? Because a lot of people say they're your friends, but then it's like the smallest things ruins everything.
That goes right back to trust, George. Do you trust each other enough? How long has that friend been in your life? You know how some people, you can just pick it up and you're like, that's not your friend, that's something more. Not necessarily so. Like me, for somebody who has men as friends my whole life.
Yeah, it depends on the person.
I constantly have to break down who's who, because I'm more of a tomboy my whole life, so I'm not going to do it.
Right. What about you, Jim?
It's like, let's go fishing, let's play sports, let's be active. It depends on the woman. If she's like a feminine type of girl, showing the makeup with the dresses and the heels, like more feminine to the touch, and she needs that girl time. I don't have girl time. I have a lot of girl time. I do a lot of men activities. If she's all like that feminist side, and all of a sudden she has a guy friend that you never heard before, then yeah, it's questionable. But then again, no matter what it is, because me and Jim are a people person. We would talk to the wall and talk back to us.
You gotta be friends first.
Our job in the world is to promote, market. So what do we need? We need strangers to grow things. We need new faces to grow things. So if we don't have to stress in this relationship, it's fucked.
Yeah, with the type of
grow anything is through strangers. Friends and family isn't enough to pay what your vision, your goals, whatever it is you gotta do. You need strangers for your business to succeed, no matter what it is. One of the main quotes is that everybody is in sales whether you want to admit it or not. Who are you going to sell it to? You going to sell it to your friends and family your whole life? Or do you need strangers?
True, that's very true.
So in a relationship, you need him to buy you this, buy you that, vice versa. You want her to cook dinner, buy groceries, buy the yacht, 50-50 type of thing. That's all cool. But you also both need jobs, right? Or build a business foundation. Where are you going to get that? Through friends or family? Are you going to build it through strangers that become friends? Through your network, through marketing. You always need strangers. The way for you to grow out of anything is through faces of strangers. That's what people don't realize. So for any man to be with me, it's very difficult. You have to build that trust. Any woman to be with Jim is also difficult because we're both doing the same thing. And why we get along is because we're in the face of social media. We're in the face of television. We just did, music video. I just did a music video with celebrity boxing. And Jim's constantly traveling all the time. We have that trust to trust in one another when we have to separate and do our own thing. But in regards to having male friends, vice versa, female friends, that's normal. We need strangers. We need strangers to build our empire.
You need to meet new people to network, right? It all depends on you know what I mean? Who you want in life. Go ahead, Jim.
A lot of that trust comes from the person's self-confidence too. Like if you could be a good person, like, and have shitty self-confidence and totally blow up your relationship. So I mean, as far as being able to deal with your significant other, having friends of the opposite sex has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself.
Yep. And it's very difficult to deal with someone that's insecure.
Yeah.
Because it's constant accusations. It's constant, what are you doing? Who are you breathing on? Like who's this? Who's that? Like,
you're creating imaginary problems, and that's no bueno.
Like, that gets really, really annoying.
Imaginary problems they get in the way.
For me, it's like, okay, you're not supporting my cause. You're in the way. And then when somebody gets in the way, they really got to get out the way. Like,
right, and that's what goes wrong.
I call it you either get right or you get left. You get it?
Yeah, either get right or get left. And it kind of sounds funny because it's like no pun intended, but all pun intended. Right or left, get right or get left. I mean, either move forward or you stay right there stagnant. Relationships gotta grow. See, relationships develop too. You know what I mean? Like sometimes Sarah is a friend, or you like the girl, she likes you, but you're not ready for a relationship, and then you build up as well. So
people underestimate the value of arguing with your significant other. You think that everything's going to shit, and I've felt this way, but Tal's the first woman I've ever been in a relationship with that I can argue with and actually come up with solutions. And it don't always happen. We're human, but I'd say a lot more than not.
Debates.
I can agree with that. Healthy debate. That's a more positive way of looking at it.
Yeah,
good call, honey. Good call. Good call.
It's a challenge, and how do you grow from these debates? Because sometimes you're not gonna see eye to eye, but you gotta find in between these debates the compromise. And it's all part of getting to know each other and not repeating the same mistakes. Also knowing that the person you're with is not the last person you dated. So a lot of times new relationship comes and that person is punished for the past mistakes.
Oh yes. So bringing up problems from previous relationships, it's good in the beginning so that you can better know the person. But you don't want to be crucifying your significant other for things that your exes have done. That's no bueno. No bueno.
Mm-hmm.
That's considered toxic behavior. Leave the stuff in the past and try to build from there. You know what I mean?
You're injecting negativity into the relationship that doesn't need to be there. You get it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's already hard as it is. You got to just go forward for it. It's good to keep secrets, but if it's something old, see, that's the thing. Both parties got to let go too. Sometimes it's another thing. It's hard to do, but because girls get jealous too, and they'll get jelly of your ex. But like, that's not ex, and I don't even talk to no more. Okay, and then they're gonna see something because they always have the hunch, and then there's nothing there to see. For example, you know what I mean? Or maybe something gets blown out of proportion. But communication definitely saves relationships. We can definitely agree on that because he has in the past, and he can save relations too. Relationships like even you and your boys are like a work relationship, not even just romantic intimate relationships. So important to communicate, whether it's awkward or not. Something you can always ignore. That's one thing my ex always said that actually made sense. She said some conversations we cannot ignore, and when I hear it, I'll be like, you know what, you're right. We can't just if something I'm not agreeing with, I got to talk to you about it. If it's not going to work out, it's good to speak in the beginning, because if you catch feelings, it's easier for the breakup when you guys understand what's going on, as opposed to you guys never really handled nothing. You're living in a lie. You're scared to tell the truth. You argue. There's communication. That's when things kind of fall apart way faster and worse. So you got to be able to
One thing I used to do is when an argument would get to a certain point, I would walk away, go somewhere, and leave. And just to get away from the situation. And there are times when the two are fighting and it's so heated, you got to take that little space. But she's helped me face the healthy debate in real time. She's helped me face that in real time, and that saves a lot of festering of negative thoughts in the mind when, you know what I mean? Because you're hashing it out right there.
True. Yep, I can agree with that as well. That's a picture point of view.
Hide all the weapons when it's my turn to snap. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. No, definitely some good stuff, man. Good points, guys. Good points. Again, relationships come with issues and and sort of like resolutions and all that. There's always gonna be some pros and cons, but the most important thing is that every issue, small problem, could make the relationship stronger. Sometimes they say argue, said Jim. I can appreciate argument because arguments and these kind of things test relationships and make them stronger. So you're not gonna hook up with your girl over something small, but you guys argued about that a while ago. Now, was that like a year ago, a few months ago? It's not a year right now. So it's always growth and development. And we're all humans, so we all kind of develop as we go.
Yeah.
Well, like a lobster, you need stress to shed that skin to grow. Lobsters in shrimp, they shed their skin biologically to grow. So these stresses, these challenges, these debates and arguments is how you grow. You're always gonna bump into them. Same thing with life. That's all common.
Yeah. But that's the thing, Fal, and then Jim as well. And that's another thing too, bro. Like sometimes your girl, in this case, Fal, they can teach you a lot about yourself too. Sometimes the woman, just like the man can teach the woman too, because my ex, it's like I learned a lot about myself to do with her, and then myself, she said like I would definitely give her like some good she said like I give her a lot of insights and like I influenced her in a good way, everything from fashion to the way you think, to places, I showed her different things, and she was happy with that. But in the end, it didn't work out. But you can't say that the time, the time frame, that 2.5 to 3 year period wasn't a good time, despite the argument and the bullshit and the game.
What was your best relationship, George?
Huh?
When you mentioned about an ex, how long was you with this person?
This particular one was about close to 3 years. Other than that, the other one was about 1.5 years. So My longest relationship has been 3 years, some change, in about a year and a half. So that's it.
So to stay optimistic, do you look for somebody like that, or just leave it float in the air?
Kind of believe a little bit love in the air, but also try to look for somebody like that. I notice when I look for somebody, I don't really exactly find them, and when you're not looking, they just appear, and just the right person's there.
Love, though. You can't look; it hits you so, like unexpectedly, and morally, like I said, just focus on yourself, love yourself first, because when you look at laws of attraction and you look at energy projection, why you have to love yourself is it's a level of energy that you're giving to yourself, so that you can attract somebody like you. You're going to attract what you lack.
Speaking of laws of attraction.
No, yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a good book. It's a good read.
That's the laws of attraction. Why loving yourself is important.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to love yourself, you're gonna attract another narcissistic, or you can attract somebody that don't know how to love themselves.
People toward the streets. People don't love each other. Right.
Yeah. So
some people don't love one another. They don't love each other. Their own self. So how can you love the other person if you don't love yourself? So love yourself first, but definitely.
Yep. Back to that quote. You are what you attract.
Yeah, you are what you attract. That's very true. Wow.
You are what you attract.
That's a good one.
Yeah, right. We'll call it a night because I gotta go.
Yeah, guys, I think we're about a 1 minute. We're now 1 minute in the mark. We can kind of close it out in the next like 2-3 minutes. I think we covered a nice amount, and I think it was actually a pretty good episode of podcast. Just because these are some very critical issues, and no matter who you are, everybody goes through this at some point. Unless you're with everybody, you just isolate yourself. So good points, guys. Definitely good stuff. I appreciate you both being here. Before we leave, actually supposed to do this in the beginning, but there's 3 things where we started, guys. So always subscribe, like, comment, share the content, the video. You know what you hear. If you guys were
show love.
Show love, right. Show a little support. If you guys are satisfied with today's episode, definitely drop a like or just a comment. It'll be appreciated. And like I said in the post earlier, feel free to connect with us and contact me or Steve. And if for the viewers out there, so if you guys want to hear something different or want us to mention something in the broadcast, you can do that as well. And
don't forget to visit the Church of Arm Wrestling and JGTV on YouTube. I'm also a filmmaker, arm wrestler. There's plenty of entertaining content just waiting for all you fabulous people out there.
Facts.
Adios. I'm your fart master.
Be good or be good at it.
90,000 people. So you need those views generated.
20,000 people, dude. 20, 50,
yeah,
70.
News Indonesia. International news.
International news for
that's
farts.
Wild. It's wild.
That's
Before I let
wild.
you guys, yeah, right. Before I let you guys go, just do you guys you guys want to drop your IGs and all that, just kind of promote stuff, or do you guys want to do anything, any shout outs, anything like that, or any name drops?
Drop it in the chat, you can go see it.
The Italian Stallion JG3 on IG.
You can find me at Kobe.
That's right. IG, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Italian Stallion. We got Thao in the mix. My girl Thao. We got. we do have a lot with entertainment, boxing too, and celebrity boxing, of course. Jim does the arm wrestling. So you guys, for those that don't know Jim, you can always check him out on Facebook, but also on our page. And what we do is a lot of times we name drop you guys. So in the upcoming episodes, we'll be mentioning a little bit, promote your business, little shout outs and all that. We'll give you guys a shout out next week because that's how we do it. The following week, I appreciate you guys were here. In the meantime, I do want to shout out to one of our friends, Frank S. He was here last week. I wasn't actually on the broadcast. Frank did it. But yeah, Frank came through. So, I definitely want to give him a shout out. So appreciate it for having it. Spoke about rock bands and the good stuff. And I was actually with you guys that day, remember? So they did it on Wednesday, but that's when we're doing handling the move and all that. So,
yeah. Night of our pool competition. So let's have an event on that.
Yeah. I like pool. I play pool.
Competition. So whoever's interested, say hello. Winners get 100 bucks.
Yeah. And then, by the way, now we're gonna have people here that also that and you in the gym know as well, who from the Hall, Celebrity Boxing, Hazel School and all that. We might have some people coming in. I don't see too many names, but they know who they are if they're watching. So we'll be bringing them in as well, and we'll probably bring you in for another one too. There's the first one, was a good episode though, and Jim, you're gonna come in for some arm wrestling stuff, so it's gonna be a good topic, bro. We'll bring you in for a nice solo episode, probably. So it'll be you, me, and Steve, or something like that. But great to have you guys, man. I mean, it was a great time. It's been real, yo, for real. My people, mi gente.
It's been my pleasure.
Pleasure, no doubt, no doubt. All right, so if we're done with this, I think we can kind of wrap it up. It's been real and all that. We definitely covered next amount, guys. Like I always say, man, do what you gotta do. Be you and be true, and be the best, and fuck the rest. I'm C Nation.
Whoa,
Like
Jack.
Nation. That's right. I am G Mac E. Albanian Assassin, aka George, and we got Jim in the mix. The Italian Stallion and Tao.
All right, guys. You have a good night.
All right. Good night, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. All right, Jim. Later.